Everyone, my name is Marek Rudak, and the goal of this video is to simplify your relationships by today reflecting on how leadership is isolation. I went to quite a bit of leadership training. I went to West Point, was 6 years of active duty, spent 10 years at ExxonMobil over America. And so I had quite a bit of what you would consider very good quality leadership training. And I don't know if it's me or maybe I'm just a little bit slow on the uptake, but I always had this, or up until very recently, I had this very romantic view of what leadership is. It's something where initially there's a little bit of a pushback, but enough people get on board, and then idea gets implemented. Everybody lives ever happily after. I think that's how you say it. But the the more I experience my entrepreneurial journey, and I talk to some people who've built some wonderful businesses or made some amazing ideas happen, it doesn't quite work out that way. And in fact, it's very biblical. If you look in the Bible, right after Jesus accepts his mission, what does he do? He goes into the desert for 40 days where he gets tempted. Notice that he doesn't encounter any Yoda type character who's going to guide him. He goes in the desert by himself, get tempted, and the only thing that he has is the scripture. That's the only thing that he quotes to keep Satan at bay. And so that made me really consider how leadership really looks like. And the more I reflect on leadership is that the more radical idea, if you will, the more isolated you're going to become. Because the kind of the easily implemented ideas, that's more management. There's a little bit, little turn here or there, that's management. But taking drastic step changes, changing a vehicle, if you will, that takes a lot of leadership because we, myself included, we are creatures of comfort. We like to cling to what works. If it ain't broke, why fix it? I kind of that term quite a bit in the Army. And so, my friends, whenever you get to this juncture, a fork in the road, if you will, where you really feel convicted about an idea, but you turn around and you see nobody next to you or behind you, that's not necessarily a good thing. It's a good checkpoint to see that if you really believe in the idea, because if you really believe in that idea, you're gonna have to walk on your own for quite a bit of time. But here's the good news is that the more you walk on your own, the more likely you're gonna encounter the right people who see the same way you see. It might take some time, but it will happen. And when you do that, that's gonna make all the difference because those are the early adopters, if you will, that will help you implement your idea. In fact, I was watching this. I'm going to get a little bit of attention. I watched this TED talk where the point they try to make is that it's usually the second person that is the true leader, because there was this guy that was doing a dance and everybody ignored him, and then all of a sudden another guy showed up that started making him, and it was this guy that encouraged other people to step in. So the point they're trying to make, it wasn't really the dancer, it was that first disciple, if you will, that was really the leader that got everybody on board. But let's be honest, up until that time, for about a minute or so, the guy who was dancing by himself, he was pretty isolated and it would look pretty embarrassing. So my friends, next time you're trying to implement something that feels drastic and it feels lonely, it's probably a sign that you're on the right track. And if you need help in evaluating the relationships, the kind of relationships that will help you in implementing idea, please go to CS1 Mindset, sign up for a complimentary relationship audit where I'll help you identify those key relationships that will help you keep going and implement that idea. Until next time, God bless and talk to you soon.